So, Lauren, who's the next person up?
So we've got another special guest that we're going to go to next, and I believe it's going to be a pair. So I believe Jeff and Jackie, you guys are together. They are the creators of The League. So the screenwriters, directors, and if anyone is a Curb Your Enthusiasm fan out there, Jeff has also directed a few of those episodes. So let's bring Jeff and Jackie Schaefer live right now.
Guys.
What's up?
Question: who were?
Yeah, there it is.
I still have my Alexander jersey. It just wasn't at this particular home, but let me tell you.
You should have burned it. You should have burned it.
I think I should have just come in wearing it strong with Sweet Home Alabama in the background, don't you think?
Hey, Sweet Home Alabama would have been fine. I'm okay with that. I still love pecan pie.
By the way, well, now he's got a home just outside of Washington, D.C., Sweet Home Alexandria, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Let me write that down.
By the way, John, we were gonna come show it. We just didn't have enough eye black. I didn't have enough.
Man, if I known, I would have sent you guys some. I got lots of it somewhere here somewhere.
So how did you guys come up with The League?
Well, it's a great story, actually.
Yeah.
First,
it was her idea.
It was my idea, but I will tell you, one of our first dates was Jeff took me up to Seattle. We live in Los Angeles. Jeff's from Tacoma, Washington. I was a born and bred Broncos fan, and he took me. So it wasn't weird that a girl from Los Angeles started dating a guy who lived in Los Angeles but was a Seahawks fan and left Los Angeles to go up for every single game. Season
ticket holder since like '97.
Oh yeah.
True. And so he said, "We're going to go up. We're going to go up. We're going to have some Seattle's best. We're going to go to Wild Ginger," which, by the way, Jerry's going to Wild Ginger this week.
Ginger.
Okay. Going to go have a little Wild Ginger. We're going to go to the state. And I just fell in love with that whole experience, the whole franchise, the team, the players, Shaun, Hasselbeck, the whole thing. And my dad made me wear an Orange Crush T-shirt for the Broncos underneath the Super Bowl, my jersey when we won the Super Bowl in 2014. So, but I'm a Seahawks fan now. But obviously, there's a lot of football in our home, a lot of love for football. And Jeff at the time was in 3 or 4 fantasy leagues, which totally inappropriate given the fact that we had many full-time jobs, and spends a lot of time on those fantasy leagues. And we were on vacation, and it was Christmas Eve, and he should have been wooing me. He was trying to marry me. Like, he should have been spending a little more time. We're having a romantic dinner in the French Alps. And Wi-Fi, Jeff is on the phone at a snowbank outside the restaurant in a little town.
Well, actually, to be, I was even worse than that. I kept telling her because nighttime, Sunday night in France is Sunday day, game time back in the States. So I kept telling her this French food at this amazing restaurant. Oh, it's making my stomach sick. I got to go to the bathroom. But I didn't go to the bathroom.
You're going to check your fantasy football.
Snow drip.
Here's what's so sad. Lineups were locked. There was nothing this man could do. If the decisions had been made, it was over. But he won it. He had to know how many points he had by far ahead. So he did win his fantasy league that year. We did get engaged. And the next day I said, I think we should write a television show about this. And we sort of care if, when people said, nobody cares about fantasy football. We knew we cared about fantasy football. We knew Matt Berry did. And we knew that there were people hiding out there that wanted to show that they cared publicly, but had no outlet. So for 7 seasons, we gave them an outlet. But I have to say, if we were still filming, I'd have a whole sort of Hall of Fame John Randle, Emmitt Smith episode right here. I'd be very, very happy.
That would be the wisest thing to do.
Yes.
So let me ask you this question. Fantasy football league. So do you run fantasy football leagues now?
Oh, yeah.
And how big are they?
And crew of our show for the 7 seasons. You know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Which I won twice. I was the only person to win the trophy. So Jeff Easy, who played Kevin on our show, they came in like, we're the best, man. We know all about this. We're going to crush these.
We had actually been the only 2 that had played before.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He never sniffed it, and yeah, she won twice. The lead woman on our show won once. Like it was rough. It's rough losing to your wife when you're at work. Like,
and then press junkets. And so they ask us that question a lot. And so year after year, I get to tell them, and I show them my trophy. It was a fabulous professional experience.
The most public yet of my many humiliations.
So let me ask you guys this question then. So welcome to the Notable platform. What do you think about the Notable platform thus far? And would it be enticing for fan engagement type of opportunities for fantasy football?
First of all, we are fan engagement right now. We are so excited. We learned about Notable this week when you so graciously invited us on, because we don't have a ton of Cowboys fans around us. We didn't have people schooling us the way we should be schooled, even though right now we're just a stone's throw from Oxnard and your training camp facilities. But I will say, we think this is very cool. So we are basically getting the experience that your Notable fans get, and it's fantastic. This is awesome.
Thank you. So do you have questions for John Randle and Shaun Alexander and myself?
Yes. So
Quite a few.
my first question actually is for John Randle, because as we're watching this game, and it's wild, and I can't believe I saw two things I never thought I'd see. Metcalf get that ball knocked out, and Lockett drop a pass.
Let me just say this before you go any further. I'm from Florida, and down where the Gators play, we say Gators. Gator. And Gator means get after that ass, and that's what the Cowboys are doing right now to the Seattle Seahawks. They're getting after that ass.
They are.
So
Alden Smith is in prime Gator right now. But my question is for John, which is what can the Seahawks do right now other than getting you back in there to this pass rush, so it's not just Jamal Adams on a blitz?
Oh my God. No, you know what? I think for anything for our Seahawks, I think instead of giving the guys Gatorade on the sideline, I think we should put some coffee and those drinks on the sideline, the mochas, because that's one thing I still to this day appreciate from Seattle was learning about coffee. I learned so much about it, and I learned how important it is to start your day. That's what we can do for our Seattle Seahawks, guys.
Starbucks reserved pop-up tent, and we're good. We're winning this game. That's you're telling me. So should we call the right now? Call the.
We're gonna get this thing. We're gonna get this thing. See now, Emmitt over there is trying to talk about the Cowboys. I'm like, dude, there's no Bob Lilly, there's no Randy White, there's no Tony Dorsett, no Roger Staubach, there's no Moose Johnson. Leon's coaching now. Hey, this is the Russell Wilson era. Russell Wilson with that good hair. Do the thing.
By the way, Metcalf got Leon leaded. That's exactly what happened. And Diggs was BB. That's exactly what happened. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Well, one other question, because we have two of the best running backs of all time here. So as we're watching this game, you've got Zeke and Chris Carson. Zeke, first round draft pick. Carson, seventh round draft pick. But when you look at their stats and they both almost lead the league in broken tackles. Like, what do you see as the difference between these two? Because they're both, obviously they're both awesome, but one was drafted like as an afterthought almost, and the other was a first rounder. How come?
Well, you know what? One of the things I do every year, I go to the NFL Combine, and I notice for a fact about Zeke. Zeke is such a guy that he just doesn't run. He up here in Minnesota, people talk about it. They talk about it all the time. Guys from our radio shows to TV shows, people, not the tattoo part, not talking about feed me on my stomach, but they just talk about how he just excites them. And for me, that's the thing about Zeke. When I'm on a golf course and I hit a good drive every once in a while, I'll do the Zeke. And that's the thing what's so awesome about Zeke. I hate saying that. Being a former Seahawk, I just got to say that. But I think if anybody going to speak on this, we got to have the real SA talk about this.
There's it that people you just know when you got it, and you know. And so when you find a running back that when they're in the room, you're like, oh, they gonna make something happen. And so Ezekiel has that. You know, you get around certain guys. You know, at Bama we had Josh Jacobs, and everybody's like, oh, is he gonna be that good? And we're looking around like, Coach Saban, play this joker like he's. You know, we no one knew about it. We're like, this guy's got it. And so you want that guy. So like running backs. Fairly, we all pretty much got to have something similar. Good balance, good strength. I think Ezekiel's way faster than Carson, so that's a plus. But like when Ezekiel walks in the room, touchdown by the way. You know, you know that some guys got it. So when you find a running back that's got it, like they say, oh, you put a drafted running back in any fifth round, whatever. Yeah. But when you find one that's got it, he changes the whole organization. It's just like a great quarterback. You get a running back that's got it. I ain't talking about just good. Like you look around and you see Emmitt Smith. People are like, oh, is he? Nope. You better get him. You know, Emmitt. You know, an interesting thing I didn't think about. You know, the Seahawks traded their 19th pick to get me to Seattle. You know who they traded? The Dallas Cowboys.
By the way,
like, so,
what?
Didn't you have to wait till Waters got hurt?
I did. And so I was either going to back up you for a year or two, or back up Ricky for a year or two. And Mike was like, we'll do it now. And so yes, that's how I ended up coming to Seattle.
By the way, nobody glided like you. It's just amazing. It was like you were just. It's like you were on like skis. You were just like shoosh, and like just. It was amazing. Love watching.
So smooth.
I was a studier of running backs, and so I remember studying Gale Sayers, you just died. I remember studying Eric Dickerson and Marcus Allen getting up under. But I tell people all the time, you know whose moves I stole the most of? Emmitt's. He knew how to get a pause and bust.
You didn't steal them, you just borrowed them.
I said, oh, I like how he did that. I could do that, you know.
Yeah, you just borrowed them, that's all.
You didn't take him. You just borrowed him. He's got him right back.
Hey, yeah, they never left me, but he just borrowed them. So, but can I chime in on that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
In terms of the running backs, you're right, Shaun. You know when you have something special, something that's undeveloped or in the middle of the process of developing to its full potential or has more upside. When you see that in running backs, and I see it in young running backs, and I see it in quarterbacks, I see it in athletes, period, straight across the board. When you see that, the first thing you do is appreciate the undeveloped talent. Then the next thing for me, I go to what kind of mind does this individual have? What are their goals? What are their motivations? Are they here just to make a buck, or are they here to transform or leave their footprint on the game? I look beyond just talent. I want to know where you want to go and how long you want to be here. And are you willing to pay the price to get to 15 or the 20 years to do it? And so you compare the two running backs. I don't know, like no one else knows how long these guys' careers are going to be. But I'm leaning towards the one, and I don't care if it's Zeke, I don't care if it's the Seattle running back. I'm leaning towards the one that is motivated for a long-term relationship with the NFL.
And that's like John Randle's talking about, is we work with a lot of players after they've retired, you know? They come on the show, they've already been retired. You know, I mean, obviously Dion had a lot to do. He didn't need to be on our show. He had other things to do when he was on the show. But, you know, it was so great. And the true love of the game comes through, not just doing it for not just doing it for the lifestyle. And those are the guys who continue to engage with the town, the fans, the organization.
Yes.
And one of the things we love about Seattle, those guys stay in Seattle. Sidney Rice, opening restaurants. He's out there with people.
Walter Jones is around.
Big Walt. Yeah, Big Walt.
Yeah.
The key word you use is the love of the game.
Yes.
Right.
When you have all that's been given to you, whether it's $200 million or $10 million, and your love of the game never leaves, that's when you have a chance to be a professional athlete. Anybody can be an athlete.